Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. Hope to see you soon. Really missing being at school. Today, we're going to talk about equivalent ratios, which is very similar to equivalent fractions. That's a warm up that has showed up since the beginning of school. So we'll just get started. The first question says, which two ratios are equivalent to 4/7? And so what I want you to do is I want you to write your ratio, the first ratio or the ratio that you're given as a fraction. So I'm going to write, I like blue. So I'm going to write 4/7 as a fraction. That's 4/7. And then really, if it's a multiple choice question like this one, what you want to do is you want to test the different options. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put letter A, 16 to 49 in and see what happens. So 16 to 49. And then really what we're doing is we're going to check for that giant 1. Am I multiplying or dividing the top and the bottom by the same number? So if you look at the first one, to get 16, what am I doing to 4? Well, that's getting bigger, so I'm going to be multiplying that by 4 in this case. And so you want to check, am I multiplying the bottom by the same thing? Am I multiplying 7 by 4 to get 49? And the answer is no, actually. In this case, I'm multiplying it by 7. And so since I'm not multiplying the top and the bottom by the same number, 16 to 49 is not equivalent. Okay. All right, let's try the next one. So we're going to take a look at 8 to 14. So I'm going to write 8 to 14 in that second fraction. And you want to take a look at what you're doing to get 8 to 14 from the 4 to 7. So let's go ahead and do that. What am I doing to 4 to get 8? I'm timesing it by 2. Okay. Same thing on the bottom. Check to see what you're doing. 7 times 2 is in fact 14 this time. So since I'm multiplying the top and the bottom by the same thing, that means that the ratio 8 to 14 is equivalent to the ratio of 4 to 7. So there's my first one that is truly equivalent. Looking at the second one, I can actually go ahead and say there's no way that that's going to work out because the first number is bigger. In the ratio that I'm given in 4 to 7, 4 is smaller than 7. And so in anything equivalent, the first number needs to be smaller than the second number. I could go ahead and try it out. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to write 12 to 7. Okay, and let's see how we get there. So 4 to 12 is times 3. And 7 to 7 is times 1. So since those are not the same, I'm multiplying by 3 on top and multiplying by 1 on the bottom. Those are not going to be equivalent fractions. So I can go ahead and mark that one out. Okay. Let's take a look at 14 to 8. Get this erased. So 14 to 8. What am I doing to 4 to get 14? There's not really anything, and that doesn't necessarily rule anything out because you can multiply by fractions and decimals. But again, similarly to the last one, since that first number is bigger than the second number, and my given fraction, the first number is smaller, I know that that's not going to be equivalent. So I'm going to rule it out for that very reason. Okay, and then the next one, final one. I'm going to assume it's the answer since it says which two ratios, but let's go ahead and try it out. So we have 16 and we have 28. So you need to ask yourself, what am I doing to 4 to get 16? Timesing 4. And what am I doing to 7 to get 28? Timesing 4. Since I'm multiplying the top and the bottom by the same number, that is truly an equivalent fraction or an equivalent ratio. The next problem is very similar. So I'm going to set up my original, which two ratios are equivalent to 10 to 15. So 10 to 15 is my first ratio or fraction. And so I want to put in my test ratios. So 20 to 25. 20 to 25. Well, I can see on the top, I'm multiplying by 2. And so I'm just going to check the bottom. Am I multiplying by 2? Is 15 times 2 25? And the answer there is no. And so in that case, that is not an equivalent fraction. Let's try the next one. So I have 3 to 5. Now this is kind of an interesting one because the numbers, notice, are getting smaller. And so really I need to ask myself, what am I doing to that first number to get the second number? So what am I doing to 10 to get 3, and what am I doing to 15 to get 5? Well, 10 to 3 is kind of a hard one because 3 doesn't really go into 10. So I'm going to start with the bottom in this case. 15 to get 5, I'm actually dividing, because it's getting smaller, I'm dividing that by 3. And so then you need to ask yourself, is 10 divided by 3 3? And the answer there is no. And so therefore that is not an equivalent fraction. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, 30 to 5. I can go ahead and rule that one out because the first number is bigger than the second number. 30 is bigger than 5, whereas in my given problem, 10 is smaller than 15. So I'm going to go ahead and rule that out. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one out. So then I'm hoping for some correct answers on the next two. So 2 to 3. You look at this, 10 to get 2, I'm dividing by 5. 15 divided by 5 is in fact 3. And so since I'm dividing by the same number on the top and the bottom, 2 to 3 is an equivalent ratio. And let's try the next one. The next one is going to be 40 to 60. So 40, whoops, I'm still on eraser. 40 to 60. I know that 10 times 4 is what's giving me 40. And so 15 times 4, some of you may not realize, but let's work it out. 15 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, so 0 carry my 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is in fact 60, and so it does work out there. So 40 to 60 is also an equivalent ratio. Last but not least, let's take a look at this word problem. Similarly to what you were doing on Tuesday, Jane is hosting a pizza party for her friends. She plans to order 2 pizzas for every 3 guests. If 24 people attend the party, how many pizzas will she need to order? So we're going to set up the given ratio, which is 2 pizzas. I'm going to put P for pizzas, matches 3 guests. So I'm going to put G for guests. And so then the part that they give me is 24 people attend, and the question, how many pizzas? So I don't know how many pizzas. So I'm going to put a question mark. That's what I'm trying to find, is the number of pizzas. I do know how many guests there were. There were 24 guests. So it's kind of like a puzzle. And so I need to look at the 2 pieces that I'm given horizontally, side to side. Which 2 pieces am I given? Well, I'm given the bottom 2 pieces in this case. What am I doing to 3 to get 4? That will tell me what I need to do to 2 to get my missing number. So what am I doing to 3 to get 24? I know that I'm timesing that by 8, which means I need to times 2 by 8. And 2 times 8 is 16. So I know that Jane needs to order 16 pizzas. Okay. Good luck on your Khan Academy assignment, and hope this video helps.